Time now for tonight's Power Panel to dig into this. Former chief counsel for the House Judiciary Democrats, Julian Epstein, from the Wall Street Journal, Fox News contributor Jason Riley, and columnist at The Hill, Buck Sexton. Thank you all for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so you know right before the show last night the allegations broke. We get this very rare now public response from the special counsel's office saying the characterization of this is just not accurate. Buzzfeed tonight standing by it. So, Buck, where do we go from here?
This isn't a correction of the Buzzfeed story. This is an annihilation of it. The reason that the Buzzfeed story seemed to maybe have some teeth, just based on what it was reporting, was that there were supposed to be actual evidence, documents, texts, that the special counsel had to corroborate these two anonymous sources. The special counsel coming out to say, no, that's not actually true, is essentially a complete and utter destruction of the basics of the piece. Beyond that, for the special counsel to come out and do this, we all know that's very rare. I don't know if it has ever, I don't think it has ever happened before. It certainly is something that raises a lot of eyebrows in terms of how bad is the media reporting right now. The special counsel feels the need to correct it. So once again, some people willing to believe the worst about the president. There's obviously a double standard in what journalistic ethics apply to covering this administration as to previous administrations. And this is a bad one for BuzzFeed, man. They maybe should have stuck to some cat listicles. It's not good.
Well, those are entertaining.
They are. I do like them, in fairness.
We actually went back through our records, and our Brain Room team was researching this, trying to look back if the special counsel has made other public comments or knocked down other things. We found something back from April of last year. So this is several months ago. And this is essentially our executive producer was reaching out to the special counsel team, and they said, you know, as a policy, we don't confirm for reporters whether a story is accurate or not. But what we tell people is that many about the stories about our investigation have been inaccurate. Be very cautious about any source that claims to have knowledge about our investigation. So, I mean, even back then, that's really the most that we could get from them. Now, to that point, Ronan Farrow, he says tonight, I can't speak to BuzzFeed sourcing, but for what it's worth, I declined to run with parts of the narrative they conveyed based on a source central to the story repeatedly disrupting or disputing the idea that Trump directly issued orders of that kind. Julian.
Well, I mean, I would just take exception with your first guess. I think this episode actually shows the responsibility of the news media. I think the fact that most of the major news organizations did not validate this story. They reported that BuzzFeed reported it, but they didn't validate it, and they, in fact, they withheld from really adding more validation to it until they could confirm it. I think underscores the fairness of the press. I think, secondly, the fact that the special counsel's office came out so quickly to deny that it was a source for this, I think also speaks to the fairness of the special counsel's office. The third point I would just add is that nothing really changes the overall narrative. This would have been a very damaging story for the president for sure, but nothing changes the fact that the Russians broke laws and interfered in the election. Nothing changes, we have forensic evidence of that. Nothing changes the fact that the Trump campaign wanted to get Russian dirt from
okay, let's stick to what we have in front of us, though.
Nothing
this is amazing. The special counsel looks good, the media looks good, and Trump is still the bad guy.
These are very specific allegations that the president suborned perjury, and that's something different, Jason. I would beg to differ that there were those who were reserved, because I heard all night last night and all day today, impeachment, this is the beginning of the end, it's over for the president. I mean, that was the theme of the day.
Another bombshell that turned out to be a nothing burger is what this was, and we've seen this before. The president tweeted that this was a sad day for journalism, and he is absolutely right there. The press today, the mainstream media, the anti-Trump folks, spent the entire day speculating about an unsubstantiated story that was anonymously sourced. I'm old enough to remember when this story would have never seen the light of day, Shannon, and today it's the norm. And I think the president is absolutely right. The press is making itself look very, very badly, and it's going to be very difficult for this media to restore any credibility it once had before. And I think the president's absolutely right on that front.
Well, and Rudy Giuliani speaking out, he says this: now the DOJ must reveal the leakers of this false BuzzFeed story, because they're standing by their sources, which the press and Democrats gleefully embraced, and maybe House Dems should wait to investigate until the Mueller report is filed. 4 have started already. There may be nothing to legitimately investigate. Buck, any chance that we actually get the leakers?
I think it's very unlikely. I think it's a precedent that a lot of journalists actually wouldn't want to set, even in this case, although there's some disagreement as to whether they should out the sources here. And just as to the broader conduct and what we've been seeing, this is not a first offense, Shannon, and that's why I think people have become so exhausted and exasperated with this anti-Trump mania that we see from some of the biggest news outlets in the country. There are news outlets, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, that have been running with stories for a very long time that are all supposed to take down this president. Some of them have had to fire their own journalists because of stories that were damaging to the president. And when you look at how many retractions, corrections, and outright falsehoods have been peddled by major news outlets that are all damaging to Trump in profound ways and then have to be walked back, it's clear that there's an agenda at work. This is not random chance.
And Julian, does this, though, Julian, lend credence to the president's argument that there are people who do not factually report on him, that they are driven by, quote, fake news, and that they are out to get him? I mean, does it then make his backers say we were right all along and then rally to him even further?
I just disagree. I think this shows the opposite. Again, one small point of fact, the source of this could conceivably be the Southern District of New York, which has been investigating Cohen as well. But in point of fact, I spent the day talking to a lot of reporters today at major publications, all of whom said they were not going to run with this story and validate it until they could get confirmation of it. And the fact that I think that they showed restraint totally undermines the point that was just made. I think reporters here tried to show balance, and they quickly got out in front and said the Buzzfeed story looked like it had a lot of problems. So I think that's false, and I think the overall narrative here of the extent of Russian interference in the election, which is undisputed, 36 guilty pleas or convictions at this point, over 100 contacts with the Trump campaign and the Trump transition with Republicans. The major storylines have not.
No, I agree with you. But
the point is, the major storyline has not been contradicted here.
Yeah, but there have been other stories.
Quickly.
But who's corrected it? Because BuzzFeed is sticking by it. There's been no correction.
The special counsel's office came out within 24 hours and corrected it.
And they're not the ones who started it.
But most media sources have backed off. So you find one example of a news organization making a mistake, and you use that as an entire.
No, but
I'm just saying, you must have been watching something different than I was watching all day, because Jason, news and radio all day. This is literally what I heard beginning to the end.
Yes, a fake story dominated the news cycle today. And my fellow guest doesn't seem to have a problem with that. And he thinks that somehow exonerates the media or paints them in a good light. But no, I think just the opposite. And again, we have to stress that Mueller's office almost never does this. This story was so off the mark, they felt the need to come out and correct the record.
But it does it. The point is, it does it when it's false. My point is about Mueller's office. Mueller's office comes out right away and says something is false when it's false. Do you have to, either of the two guests have an example of a news story that was printed attributing something to the special counsel's investigation that was false, that Mueller's office failed to come out and say it was false?
The special counsel is not supposed to call balls and strikes on news stories.
Yeah, and that's what they said.
No.
Gentlemen, for a second.
No, it's not calling balls and strikes. It's disabusing false information.
Okay, guys, but what I told you about,
we
tried to go back and see where they've spoken out before. And again, this email exchange with our executive producer in April of last year, they said, we cannot come out, we're not going to address every single story that comes out, yes or no, but we are going to caution you that there's tons of inaccurate reporting that's been done all the way through. And that was, almost a year ago.
This was fake news that was creating a national narrative, and the fact that other news outlets didn't run the story doesn't mean they weren't running with the story, which was going on all day, as you pointed out, Shannon. This is what has been happening. People were thinking they've really got Trump. That was the whole news cycle today. They finally got him. He's cornered. If this story is true, and yes, some of them waited for their own corroboration, they'd be insane not to wait for their own corroboration. They're just going to all assume that what BuzzFeed's anonymous sources say are true. So it was crazy, and it obviously shows the real derangement.
But I think the one thing we can all agree on, that it was very important that the special counsel stepped up. They shot down this story, and we have to wait for their report. Good or bad for the president and those close to him, that's really going to be the ultimate finder of fact. And so we wait. In the meantime, Julian, Jason, and Buck, thank you for being here to discuss.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thanks, Shannon.